Someone on MrBeast's team just leaked his entire production guide. And trust me, it's more valuable than the millions of dollars that he's given away. Now, I've gone through the whole thing, and now I'm about to show you how the same tricks that pull in millions of YouTube views can help get millions of people to actually want to pay attention to your law firm, which means that you're gonna make more money. I know that MrBeast has recently been the subject of some controversy, but regardless, there's still a lot that we can learn about how he gets and keeps his viewers' attention. Now, you might be thinking, what does a guy who gives away islands have to do with my law firm? Well, I'm about to show you how MrBeast's strategies can revolutionize your social media game and skyrocket your law firm's growth. From his obsession with the first 5 seconds of a video to his relentless focus on viewer retention, MrBeast's guide is a goldmine of information. And today we're going to translate his multi-million-dollar tactics into practical strategies that will work for your law firm. Whether you're a solo practitioner or managing a large firm, these insights will help you create content that not only stops the scroll, but also converts viewers into clients. Now, let's dive into our first big takeaway from MrBeast's playbook, creating thumb-stopping content. In his leaked guide, MrBeast emphasizes that if your content doesn't make someone stop scrolling, you've already lost. So how do we apply this to legal content? Well, let's break it down. First, let's talk about thumbnails. MrBeast is obsessed with thumbnails, and for good reason. He says if people don't click, they don't watch. In the legal world, this translates to if people don't stop scrolling, they don't become clients. Here are some MrBeast-inspired tips for creating eye-catching thumbnails for your law firm. First, use contrasting colors. MrBeast often uses bright, contrasting colors. Include faces. MrBeast almost always includes faces in his thumbnails. Use text sparingly. MrBeast keeps text short and impactful. Instead of personal injury law services, try "We won $1 million for our client." Create intrigue. MrBeast often uses elements of surprise or curiosity. For legal content, you could use questions like, "Can you sue for this?" or "Top 5 car accident mistakes." Now let's talk titles. MrBeast titles are short, punchy, and make you want to click. For law firms, that might look like, "I challenged the judge and you won't believe what happened," or "5 legal secrets insurance companies don't want you to know," or "We turned a $1,000 offer into $100,000. Here's how." Remember, the goal is to make potential clients stop scrolling and start watching. By applying these MrBeast-inspired techniques to your legal content, you'll stand out in a sea of boring law firm posts. But here's the kicker, and MrBeast emphasizes this heavily: you must deliver on what your thumbnail and your title promise. No clickbait allowed. If you promise shocking legal secrets, you better deliver them in your video. By creating thumb-stopping content, you're not just playing the social media game, you're winning it. And in the competitive world of law, that first impression could be the difference between a potential client choosing you or scrolling past you and going straight to your competitor. Now let's talk about something MrBeast is absolutely fanatical about: the first 5 seconds of a video. In his leaked guide, he states if you lose them in the first 5 seconds, you've lost them forever. This is crucial in our TikTok and Instagram Reels dominated world, where attention spans are shorter than ever. MrBeast's strategy is to hit them hard and hit them fast. No long intros, no "Hey guys, welcome back to my channel." He jumps straight into the action. So how can we apply this to legal content? Well, let's break it down. First, start with a bang. MrBeast often opens with the most exciting part of his challenge. First, start with a bang. MrBeast often opens with the most exciting part of his challenge. For lawyers, this could mean starting with the outcome. "We just won a $1 million settlement for our client, and here's how we did it." Use a hook as a question. MrBeast sometimes likes to open with an intriguing question. Try something like, "What's the one mistake that could cost you everything in a divorce?" Another thing you could do is showcase the stakes. MrBeast often highlights what's at risk. For legal content, you could say, "In the next 60 seconds, I'm going to show you how to protect everything you've worked for." Also, use visuals. MrBeast videos are visually arresting from the get-go. Consider using graphics or dramatic reenactments to immediately grab attention. Another thing you need to do is create curiosity. MrBeast often teases what's to come later in the video. You could say, "Stay tuned to find out the shocking loophole that saved our clients thousands of dollars after getting arrested." Now let's look at some examples of how this might play out for different areas of the law. For example, personal injury, you could say, "This fender bender turned into a $500,000 case. Here's what the insurance companies don't want you to know." If you're a criminal defense attorney, you could say, "I'm about to show you how a single text message can make or break your DUI case." If you're an estate planning attorney, you could say, "In the next 30 seconds, I will reveal the #1 mistake people make in their wills that could tear their entire family apart." Remember, MrBeast's guidelines emphasize that these first few seconds are critical. He even suggests filming multiple intros and then testing them with a small audience to see which performs best. But here's the key. Whatever hook you use, it needs to seamlessly transition into the valuable content. MrBeast calls this matching expectations. If your hook promises shocking revelations about insurance companies, you better deliver those revelations quickly. By mastering the art of the 5-second hook, you're not just creating content, you're creating content that people actually want to watch. And in a world of legal marketing, that's the difference between a potential client remembering your firm or scrolling right past you. Now let's dive into something that MrBeast absolutely excels at: storytelling. In his leaked guide, he emphasizes that content is king, but story is God. That might seem counterintuitive for legal content, but bear with me. This is where the magic happens. MrBeast doesn't just do stunts, he creates narratives that keep viewers engaged for the entire video. For lawyers, this means transforming dry legal information into compelling stories. Here's how we can apply MrBeast's storytelling techniques to legal content. First, create a narrative arc. MrBeast videos often have a clear beginning, a middle, and an end. For legal content, structure your videos like mini cases. Start with the problem, explain the journey, and reveal the resolution. Use conflict and resolution. MrBeast loves to create tension in his videos. In legal content, the conflict is often already built in. Highlight the challenges your clients faced and how you overcame them. Humanize your story. MrBeast makes his content relatable by focusing on people. For lawyers, this means putting faces to your cases, with client permission, of course. Next, create emotional investment from the viewer. MrBeast gets viewers emotionally invested in the outcome. In legal content, emphasize the human impact of your work. You can also use cliffhangers. MrBeast keeps viewers watching by teasing what's coming next. In longer legal videos, use phrases like, "but what happened next changed everything." Now let's look at some examples of how this might play out. For example, personal injury. Meet Sarah. She was hit by a drunk driver and the insurance company offered her $5,000, but that wasn't even enough to cover her medical bills. Here's how we got her more than $1 million. Here's an example for business law. When Tom's business partner tried to push him out of the company that he built from scratch, he thought he lost everything. But there was one clause in their agreement that changed everything. Remember, MrBeast's guide stresses the importance of pacing. He suggests removing any dull moments and keeping the story moving. For legal content, this means cutting out unnecessary jargon and focusing on the most compelling aspects of each case. While telling these stories, you're also showcasing your expertise. You're not just entertaining, you're demonstrating how you solve real problems for real people. By mastering the art of storytelling, you're not just sharing information, you're creating an emotional connection with potential clients. And in the legal world, where trust is everything, that connection can be the difference between a potential client choosing you over a competitor. All right, let's talk about something that might make some lawyers uncomfortable: getting creative and experimental with your content. MrBeast's leaked guide emphasizes that creativity saves money and nothing comes before your priorities. This mindset is what sets him apart from other creators, and you can do the same for you in the legal field. MrBeast is known for his outlandish ideas and his willingness to try new things. While I'm not suggesting that you give away an island or fill your office with pennies, there's a lot you can learn from this approach. Here's how we can apply MrBeast's creative philosophy to legal content. Think outside the box. MrBeast doesn't just do what others are doing. For lawyers, this might mean creating content that's not typically associated with law firms. How about Law & Order Real Life? A series where you reenact interesting cases. Another thing you can do is use unexpected formats. MrBeast often combines different video styles. Try mixing educational content with entertainment. Maybe a legal Mythbusters series where you debunk common legal misconceptions. You can also collaborate with non-legal creators. MrBeast frequently collaborates with other YouTubers. Consider partnering with local businesses or influencers to reach new audiences. You can also create challenges. MrBeast is the king of challenges. For example, you could do the 30 Days of Law, where you tackle a new legal topic every single day for a month. You can also leverage current trends, and this works really well. MrBeast often puts his spin on trending topics. To do this, stay on top of current events and create timely, relevant content. Now let's look at some creative content ideas for different areas of law. For personal injury, you could do something like, "We recreated 5 common accidents so that you don't have to." For criminal defense, "I spent 24 hours in jail. Here's what I learned about your rights." MrBeast's guide also stresses the importance of testing and iterating. He suggests creating multiple thumbnails and intros for each video to see what performs best. For lawyers, this might mean A/B testing different types of content and analyzing what resonates most with your audience. While being creative, never lose sight of your primary goal: to provide value and showcase your expertise. MrBeast calls this creativity that converts. Every creative idea should ultimately serve to attract and retain potential clients. Remember, MrBeast didn't become successful overnight. His guide reveals years of experimentation and learning from failures. Don't be afraid to try new things and to learn from what doesn't work. By embracing creativity and experimentation, you're not just creating content, you're creating a unique brand that stands out in a sea of boring law firm marketing. And in today's crowded legal market, being memorable can be your biggest competitive advantage. Let's talk about something that MrBeast considers absolutely critical: consistency and persistence. In his leaked guide, he states that since he was 13, there hasn't been a single hour that's gone by that he's been awake where he hasn't thought about YouTube. Now, I'm not suggesting that you should become that obsessed with YouTube, but this level of dedication holds a powerful lesson for lawyers about creating content. MrBeast's success isn't just about viral hits. It's about showing up day after day, year after year. Here's how we can apply MrBeast's consistency and persistence to legal content creation. First, develop a content calendar. MrBeast plans his content months in advance. For lawyers, this might mean mapping out weekly or bi-weekly content themes aligned with your practice areas. Set a realistic posting schedule. MrBeast uploads multiple times per week across his channels. For lawyers, even once a week consistency can make a huge difference. The key is to choose a schedule that you can maintain. Next, consider batching your content creation. MrBeast often films multiple videos in a single day. Consider setting aside one day a month to film several videos or create multiple posts. Also, repurpose content. MrBeast reuses successful concepts across his channel. Take your best performing content and adapt it for different platforms. Next, it's crucial to track and analyze performance. MrBeast obsessively studies his YouTube analytics. Review your content's performance on a regular basis and use these insights to refine your strategy. Now let's look at how this might play out for different areas of the law. For personal injury, you could create a weekly Case of the Week series that highlights interesting cases or legal principles. For family law, you could develop a monthly family law FAQ where you answer common questions about divorce, child custody, and other things like that. MrBeast's guide also emphasizes the importance of persistence through failure. He actually mentions that every member of his team has cost him $1 million at one point or another. For lawyers, this means not getting discouraged if your first attempts at creating content don't go viral. Learn from each piece of content and keep improving. But here's the key: consistency doesn't mean monotony. MrBeast constantly evolves his content while maintaining a consistent brand and upload schedule. For lawyers, this might mean experimenting with different types of content while maintaining a consistent voice and valuable legal information. Remember, MrBeast didn't become an overnight success. His guide reveals years of consistent effort before he saw significant results. The same principle applies to legal content marketing. It's a marathon, not a sprint. By embracing consistency and persistence, you're not just creating content, you're building a brand and an audience. Over time, this consistent presence can establish you as the trusted authority in your field. And in the legal world, where trust is everything, that consistent authority can be your most valuable asset. Now let's dive into something that MrBeast considers absolutely critical: audience engagement. In his leaked guide, he emphasizes, "When I was smaller, I would reply to every single comment." This level of engagement is a key factor in success. While lawyers can't necessarily respond to every comment, there's a lot that we can learn from MrBeast's approach to building and nurturing an audience. Let's break down how we can apply MrBeast's audience engagement strategies in legal content. First, respond to all comments. MrBeast mentions that when he was smaller, he'd reply to every single comment. For lawyers, this means actively engaging with comments on your posts, answering questions, and showing your human side. Also, ask for feedback. MrBeast constantly seeks input from his team and his audience. Consider asking your followers which legal topics they'd like you to cover next. Another thing you should do is create interactive content. MrBeast's challenges often involve his audience. For lawyers, this could mean creating polls, Q&A sessions, or even choose your own adventure-style legal scenario videos. Another great idea is to build a community. MrBeast has created a strong community around his brand. For lawyers, this might mean creating a Facebook group for clients and potential clients to discuss legal issues. Show behind the scenes. MrBeast often shares glimpses of his process. Consider sharing day-in-the-life content to humanize your practice. Now let's look at how this might play out for different areas of the law. Personal injury attorneys can host a monthly live Q&A session where followers can ask about their personal injury cases. Family law attorneys can create a private Facebook group for divorce support moderated by your firm. MrBeast's guide also emphasizes the importance of understanding your audience deeply. He mentions studying retention graphs to see exactly where your viewers drop off. For lawyers, this means closely monitoring your analytics to understand what content resonates most with your audience. But here's the crucial part: engagement isn't just about growing your following, it's about building trust and relationships. MrBeast's massive following is partly due to the connection that his audience feels with him. For lawyers, this connection can translate into client loyalty and referrals. Remember, MrBeast didn't just broadcast content, he created a two-way conversation with his audience. That same principle applies to legal content marketing. It's not just about pushing out information, but creating a dialogue. By truly engaging with your audience, you're not just creating content, you're building a community around your legal expertise. Over time, this engaged community can become your biggest asset, providing a steady stream of clients and referrals. And in the competitive legal world, a loyal community can be your secret weapon for long-term success. All right, let's recap what we've learned. First, create thumb-stopping content that makes potential clients pause their scroll. Next, hook viewers in the first 5 seconds to keep them watching. After that, you're going to deliver value through storytelling, making your legal expertise relatable and engaging. Embrace creativity and experimentation to stand out in a crowded field. Maintain consistency and persistence in your content creation efforts, and always engage with your audience to build trust and foster a community. Now, you might be thinking, this all sounds great, but I'm a lawyer, not a YouTuber. And you're right, you're not MrBeast, and you don't need to be MrBeast. The goal here isn't to create outlandish stunts or give away millions of dollars. It's about taking these core principles and adopting them to the legal world in a way that's authentic to you and your practice. Remember, MrBeast didn't become a YouTube sensation overnight. His guide reveals years of trial and error, constant learning, and relentless dedication. The same approach can work for your law firm's social media presence. It's not about instant viral success. It's about constant growth and building a loyal audience over time. So here's your call to action. Take one idea from this video and implement it into the next piece of content that you create. Maybe it's crafting a more compelling thumbnail, or perhaps it's telling a client story in a more engaging way. Whatever you choose, commit to it and track your results. And let's address the elephant in the room. Yes, MrBeast has been involved in some recent controversies, but that does not negate the valuable lessons we can learn from his meteoric rise and his sustained success. As a legal professional, you're an expert at separating facts from noise, and that's exactly what I've done in this video. Remember, in today's digital age, being a great lawyer isn't enough. You need to be able to communicate your expertise in a way that resonates with potential clients. By applying these strategies, you're not just improving your social media game, you're positioning yourself as a thought leader in your field. So are you ready to take your law firm's social media presence to the next level? Are you ready to create content that not only informs, but engages and converts? If so, then it's time to start thinking like MrBeast while still acting like the professional, ethical lawyer that you are. Thanks for watching, and here's to your social media success.